Hi, I'm Nick Shell, but you already know that. We're going to talk about hair loss, as we often do, because that's what you keep typing in the search engine to find me here and start subscribing. So that's of demand. So we're going to talk more about hair loss today. I'm going to talk about it, and then you're just going to watch the video. But I want to talk about the concept of does keeping your hair or having hair or not losing your hair, or maybe not having hair, then getting a transplant or something, and then getting hair back. Does hair make you happier? Does it make you content? The reason I thought about this, I don't subscribe to any other YouTube channels, but I do regularly watch Cracked.com on YouTube, and they have these honest commercials. And when they did, I think yesterday, it was brand new. I watched. It was called "If Lotteries Were Honest with You," and so they were talking about that, and it was funny. But it was saying on there that it was talking about how, a third of people who win the lottery end up filing for bankruptcy, and an overwhelming majority of them admit that they're not happier when they get the money. And so it's an interesting concept because, millions of dollars are made off the lottery and therefore also taxed and given to the government off of lotteries, off of this hope that you'll be happy if you have $20 million or whatever it is. And so I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, so does hair do the same thing for men? Because if you're not losing your hair, or you live a long life without losing your hair, then you're the minority. You win. You won that lottery, right? But most of us are going to deal with hair loss at some point in our life. And so it made me think, are men who have a full head of hair happier than those who don't? I mean, now I want to look at this from a few different angles. Like, for example, I know someone personally. He's pushing 60 at this point. And I even told him the other day, I said, man, you have the perfect head of hair. Look at you. Here you are, almost 60 years old. And this guy has it's not a juvenile hairline. It's not like this, but it's like a natural, normal looking hairline. Complete perfect thickness. He's got some wave to his hair. Just perfect hair. And I've known him for a long time. I know he hasn't had any kind of procedure or anything like that. It's just his hair. Now, is he any happier of a person because of that? No, I'll admit he's never known the psychology that we go through, having considering the process of balding that either we're anticipating or going through, whatever it is. He hasn't had to go through that in his life, but is he any happier or better off in life because he hasn't had to? And at the same degree, I mean, if you didn't have hair, you were losing your hair, and then you got a transplant or whatever you did, and you got your hair back, yes, I'm sure it'd give you more confidence, and there'd be happiness in your life that you didn't have before. You'd be grateful for that, I'm sure. But what would it really provide for you? I'm just wondering about that. Like, just because I think of it like this: for us to spend time thinking about hair loss, for me to make videos and spend time doing that, for you to spend time watching them, that means that we value that process. We have this idea that this would make life more complete if we had hair. Yet the irony is, most of us lose our hair anyway. And when we see men with a full head of hair, they're the exception to the rule. But it's like, are they any happier? And it's like, I was thinking about at least some famous men that fit this concept of having this perfect head of hair. Like, for example, Anthony Bourdain. He's I think about to turn 60, and I love his shows. I love Parts Unknown, especially. That's still in the air. Love it on Netflix if you haven't seen it. It's great. He's pushing 60, and it's like, but is he? And he's not to mention he's a multimillionaire. But is he happy? I know, and sadly, I hate this for him, but apparently he just got divorced again, and I hate to see that. Like, that's awful. I think of Tony Danza, a man probably basically, does he have a juvenile hairline? I'd just about say that he does. He's in his early 60s, perfect head of hair, never had any issues there, and I think he's now been divorced at least twice as well. I'm thinking, here are these men, as far as I'm concerned, the good-looking guys, around 60, perfect head of hair. They never had to experience what we had to, as far as even considering all of this, you know? So was their life better because of that? Can I have the same level of happiness and contentment in my life as these men who have had this full head of hair? Let's imagine this man. Let's imagine this man who has all that we think that we want. Like, just to process out. And if this isn't for you, then this is for me, because obviously I grow as a person by making these videos, right? It's not that I'm obsessed with hair loss. It's that it's a journey, and I like to help people through it as a host who knows a little bit of something about it. So let's picture this man. This man is, let's go with 6'3". We would all agree that's a good, nice, tall height without being a giant where you just never could fit on a plane, right? 6'3", and that's about as tall as you really need to be, all right? He makes $70,000 a year. He started his own business, and right now he's making $70,000, so he's good there. And you know, everything seems to be going well for him. He has a good family as well. Maybe you don't want a family, so maybe he needs to be single for this story to make sense. Whatever we got to do. So can you be as happy as that guy who has this perfect life that we are imagining this guy to have? Can you be that guy and still with the hair that you have? That's my question to you. You know, and this is sort of, I guess, inspired by the video I did yesterday by saying, if you had my body in my life, would you still want to do something about your hair? If you were already happy with everything and grateful for everything you had in your life, and you didn't care that you're losing your hair because you expected your whole life to lose it sooner anyway, if you were me, would you still try to save your hair? It's kind of that same concept. If we feel complete in our lives, then do we really need to worry about that? Is it all in vain? Is it energy that is being spent ultimately in vain that could be spent thinking about something else more positive, but instead we spend it on this? I would argue that we do spend more energy than we should thinking about this, almost like this pipe dream, almost like this concept of a lottery, that if I only won the lottery, then my life would be better. If I only had my hair still, if I only had a perfect hairline where I could just get whatever haircut I want, then my life would be better. And so then once we begin thinking about that, then we allow ourselves to believe that our life is held back because of our hair limitations. We believe that lie of that. Because when we really look at what's holding us back with hair, chances are you're not someone who's in Hollywood where they're telling you, you know what, we'll give you the part, we'll give you a $2 million contract a year, but you're going to have to do something about your hair. Michael Scott, you know, Mike Carell, whatever, Steve Carell, you know, good job on season 1 of The Office, but you need to get a hair transplant if you want to make it through the next seasons and have a movie career. Most of us are not in that situation, right? And most of us are never going to be in that situation. But I think we irrationalize the power that hair loss has over us. I just really think that we put too much stock in this. Just like the lottery. That we think, man, if I only had hair, if I only had money, then things would be better. Yeah, you need money, you need good skills, you need as much of an education as you can, and you need to do something about that. That is important, but obviously, just having money in itself doesn't make us feel complete. And it's just funny because most men experience hair loss. But I wonder on the flip side, and I'll close with this, I wonder on the flip side if men who go bald early because they have to deal with that sooner than the rest of us, like if you're bald by 25 and have no hair on top by 25, if that's your life, and that is for some of you, if that's you, is your life worse than mine because of that? It's just funny because when I think of guys who went bald quicker, the ones that I know personally, they don't seem to even have a lack of confidence. That's the thing about it. Like, and that's the irony that I know men who were bald by 25 or 30 when I still had all my hair, and they acknowledge it, like, oh man, yep, well, there goes my hair. Sure was nice having hair when I did, but it's gone now. And they just kind of laugh it off. And the men that I know that went bald soon, they seem to be very satisfied in their lives. They don't seem to be bothered by it. again, sure, they wish they had hair. What was that? But they're probably not dwelling on it like we are they? Right? I mean, remember, I'm making videos, I'm spending time to do this, and you're spending time to watch them. By default, we're kind of dwelling on this, and this is us dealing with it psychologically. I have an idea. I just feel that based on what I know in real life, the people who have no hair to really lose, they've already moved past that point in their life. And those of us who still have hair to lose, we're just hanging on to what we've got and thinking, how much longer do we have? It was just funny because, like, even this morning I was making coffee, or I was filling up my water bottle in the office, and there's a guy who's 2 months older than me, and he has less hair than me. He's not completely bald, but he has less hair than me. And I was talking to him about my YouTube channel, and just casually, and when he said, "Oh yeah, that's right. You do the hair loss channel and you make some money on the side doing that." He said, "Yeah." I had to stop caring about that a long time ago. And what's funny is this guy, you notice it. You notice that he's got a hairline, he's got this going on, and he's not able to hide it like I am. But I've known him, and he's never expressed any kind of lack of confidence, really, at all. He seems to be a very confident person. So what if those who go bald sooner have something that we don't? And I don't want to dumb it down to just confidence, but they have no fear of losing hair because they've already went through that. They graduated through that. Whereas we're wondering the rest of our lives, I'm thinking, will I even still have hair at 40? Will I still have hair a year from now? I don't know. But if I didn't have to worry about that anymore at all, if that wasn't a concern I could even have legitimately anymore, that's one less thing that I'd have to worry about. So it really has got me thinking about all this concept. If you won the lottery, would you really be that much happier? If you had a full head of hair, sure, it'd be nice, but would your quality of life actually be better? Would you feel more content? Or is the guy who already lost his hair and he's already bald, a younger age than you, is he just as happy as you could be had you had your hair back, or if you got to keep your hair? We never can know. But based on people that I know in my life, the men who went bald earlier, they're happy and content. They don't worry about it. That's what I know about them. So that's where I want to be when that day comes. As it's happening, I want to be that guy. I want to embrace that change, because people who are victorious embrace change. People who are victims, they fight that change. They resist that change. And I'm not saying if you want to do a hair transplant or something like that, then do it. That's what you need to do. But I'm just saying, for me, I just want to embrace this change. I want to be like those men who lost their hair early on, and I want to learn from them, because they don't seem to be fazed by it. They acknowledge it, but they don't go around talking about it. They're just living their life. And I respect that freedom that they have. I'm Nick Shell. I'm not a hair loss expert, but I am here to help with the psychology of it.